Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about the chat filter and all its horrible things that it's caused. Because it's been an absolute disgrace. It's laughing stock of the community. It's seriously hindered communication at certain times. It's been overly draconian. It's the worst. So, where to begin? And I suppose we should begin at the beginning. So, the chat filter was initially added to the game silently. It was stealth added on the February 23rd hotfix. It wasn't listed in the patch notes, but after that day, it was present. And initially, it wasn't horrible. It was censoring some things that were, terms that were used in gameplay normally, like BBC and onager and stuff like that. But it was all right. But then, after the next, update to it, instead of getting better, it got worse. So let's just go through everything. At its worst, it censored various taunts. And by that I don't mean it actually censored the taunt, it censored single and double-digit numbers. And since the taunts required typing a number, it meant that the taunt text was censored. So those taunts were 1, 11, 18, 31, 59, 60, 61, 63, 68, and 81. Does that sound like a lot to you? Because it sure is. And a side effect of the fact that taunt 1 was censored, or that number 1 was censored, is that player 1 had their name censored in every game because a 1 is typed in the text in front of the player name. So for like a full patch worth, player 1's name was always censored. You just have to imagine that, right? And it doesn't stop there. This chat filter also censored various letters, including, say, single letters, such as L, but more importantly, the letter I. Now, I is a letter, but it's also a word. And what this meant is that any message containing I was censored. Which I suppose is a good point to mention that not just the offending word, or the offending part of the word gets censored, but the whole sentence gets censored. And still does to this day. Which means if you accidentally slipped in an I at the time, you could type a huge message and it would all get censored, and you'd have to retype it again. Let's look at some more stuff. So it didn't just censor the language you had set it to, it censored across all languages, which meant that sometimes words where you could not even imagine why it would be offensive got censored anyway. I have a map named Hyperrandom, which had its name censored for a while, and that's because in the middle of that word is para, which is bitch in Spanish. But I didn't know that, and that wasn't at all relevant. I don't care. I want my map to be called Hyperrandom. So let me go over a few more things that have been just a few words that stand out as stuff that has been censored, still getting censored. If you recently watched Red Bull Wolo 2, there's a map called Haboob, which contains boob, so that's been censored. Also, you can't easily avoid it by, say, putting in spaces or something. If you type, anything with a plural followed by hit points, so something that ends in S and starts with hit, well, that's shit, so that gets censored. Like this. Now we can do Haboob. It's a nuisance, and what I recently was brought to my attention is that canals is censored, and also analysis, because they contain anal. I don't know if onager. I think onager was actually fixed, but the disgusting thing is that that various things that weren't censored before were then. The chat filter was made worse again. Things that weren't censored before were censored later again. It's been updated. The taunts are no longer censored. You can now do 11 without it starring your message. But still, Now, another annoying thing with this chat filter is that it also applies to mod descriptions, titles, and changelogs, which caused me problems for the aforementioned hyperrandom. It caused Krazini problems for Haboob. Basically, you can't update or publish a mod that contains an offending word, or you can't easily. You have to either do it through the website or find some other way around it. Oh, look, the AI has just lost their scout. So that's caused various problems as well. We can add more as well. The chat filter causes a chat delay. If I type some sort of message, if the servers are being a bit slow, and at its worst, it caused several seconds of chat delay, which is disgusting and unnecessary. So, after thinking about this for a while, I mean, you have to conclude that there can't be a human behind this chat filter. No human would say, all right, let's censor the numbers 1 and 11. Let's censor the letter I. It's got to be some sort of machine learning algorithm or something that, has a list of offending words and maybe words that are commonly used along with them and says, oh, I is often used together with an offensive word. It must be offensive as well. Maybe. I don't know. That's the only way I can explain myself such a stupidly implemented chat filter. And now, just to finish it off, let's discuss ways to fix it or get around it. Initially, when it was introduced at the very beginning, one of the solutions was to sign out of Xbox Live. Then you would get a much less egregious chat filter that only censored the offending word or part of the word. It was like, I guess, the Steam chat filter. I don't know what it actually was, but signing out of Xbox Live made it less bad. However, that option was removed, or well, you can still sign out, but it no longer helps with the chat filter. That's not been a thing for quite a while. Also, if you're signed out of Xbox Live, you can't do the events, and for people who upload mods, like me, can't upload mods through the in-game thing. So it doesn't help you for uploading mods because you need to be signed in to do that. Now, there's another fix which I stumbled on by chance, and that is to block the actual server that the chat moderation requests are sent to in your host's file in Windows. Now, that actually worked. I'll have a link in the description to the post where I wrote detailing how to do it. You have to block you had to block textmod.ageofempires.com. However, the issue with that is that, oh look, a moonwalking scout. Is that that worked quite well for a month, and then in the update that came after that, they changed the server that the moderation requests were sent to, and now they're currently sent to api.ageofempires.com. So you say, all right, no big deal, we'll block that instead. The problem is that that is not used for is used for things other than just text moderation. It's also used for mods, for example. So you can't browse mods, you can't upload mods. I'm not sure if you can even download mods if you block api.ageofempires.com. So that's a bit of a nuisance. And now maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it was a planned thing that they wanted to move the text moderation server to the same API server, but it seems almost to me as if it's a conscious decision to block my hotfix or my trick for circumventing the chat filter. At this point, I should also point out that that blocking it on a host at the host file only blocks it locally for you. Requests by your machine to the chat filter are blocked, but other people don't see things if you swear unless they've also blocked it. So it wasn't like I was helping people swear, I was just helping people understand, which is why I find this really bad. And I suppose what we can do is, to conclude here, is, what should they actually do? Actually, they should just remove the chat filter at this point. They've proved they really can't handle it. For some reason, Microsoft wanted this. I wouldn't blame FE. They're surely not at fault. This is probably a decision coming down somewhere from high up at Microsoft. And I doubt that we can actually get it removed. What's more realistic, though, and what's really expected, actually, is that they should have a setting to toggle how strict you want it. You know, off, moderate, strict, or something like that. That's just whenever there's a chat filter in any game, you do something like that. It's just common sense. That way people can toggle it to their liking. You can even have the default be strict if you're worried about kids. But it's just not having that setting at all is disgusting. It's caused no end of problems. It's a meme on Reddit these days to just reply to posts with a bunch of asterisks. Because, I mean, I can't say anymore. Just please do something about it. Just give us an option to turn it off, please, Microsoft. Please.